Take a moment to imagine yourself walking down the aisle of your favorite supermarket. Everything is there. Fresh fruits from around the world, cheeses from Europe, your favorite drinks, medicines at the pharmacy. Everything is organized, available, and reliable. We take this abundance for granted. We build our lives around it. Now, ask yourself a simple question. How long could you and your family survive on just what's in your fridge and pantry right now? 3 days? A week? This question usually arises during a snowstorm or a natural disaster. But today, it comes from a very different kind of storm. A man-made storm. One born from political decisions in Washington. This morning, in an exclusive interview that rocked the retail world and sent shockwaves across the nation, the CEO of America's largest retailer, Walmart, issued the most blunt and terrifying warning yet. His message was crystal clear. As a result of the ongoing trade war now extending to Mexico and the European Union, store shelves across America could begin to look empty in as little as 4 to 6 weeks. This is no longer about stocks or trade balances. This is about the avocado for your guacamole. This is about the wine and cheese for your dinner. And most concerning, this is about the essential ingredients for the medicines you rely on. This is not a false alarm. It's a direct warning from the person who understands this country's supply chain better than anyone. This story is unfolding by the hour, and its impact will touch us all. To ensure you get full and unfiltered analysis as this crisis develops, take a moment now to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Now, let's unpack this chilling warning. Is this just a scare tactic from a CEO trying to protect his profits? Or are we truly staring into the abyss of America's first consumer supply crisis in decades? To understand why this warning is so serious, we need to look at the anatomy of a modern supermarket aisle. What we see as simple products are actually the endpoint of a complex and highly efficient global supply chain. And this trade war has just thrown a giant wrench into that smooth-running machine. Let's look at 3 specific examples mentioned. First, avocados. 90% of the avocados consumed in the United States come from Mexico. That's no accident. It's the result of decades of agricultural cooperation that allows for a year-round supply at affordable prices. A 30% tariff on all goods from Mexico would effectively double the cost of avocados overnight. That would turn a taco and salad staple into a luxury item. Farmers in Mexico will suffer, and American consumers will pay the price. Second, wine and cheese. Walk into any store's imported goods section, and you'll see products from Italy, France, and Spain. A 30% tariff on the European Union would devastate thousands of small and medium-sized importers in America, whose livelihoods depend on these goods. Your favorite local Italian restaurant could suddenly no longer afford real Parmesan cheese or genuine olive oil. This is an assault on culinary culture and small businesses. Third, and most importantly, medications. Here's an industry secret not widely known. While many medications are assembled in the US, the majority of active pharmaceutical ingredients, APIs, the chemical components that make drugs work, are manufactured abroad. Ireland, an EU member, is one of the world's largest API producers for American pharmaceutical companies. Disrupting this supply chain due to tariffs is no longer a matter of convenience or luxury. It could mean shortages of critical medications for blood pressure, diabetes, or even antibiotics. What the Walmart CEO is warning us about is not a theoretical possibility. It's the logical consequence of severing the economic arteries that have sustained our way of life. And the ripple effect goes far beyond the supermarket doors. Think about the restaurant industry. How can a Mexican restaurant survive if the cost of its basic ingredients skyrockets? Think about the transportation industry. Tens of thousands of truck drivers on both sides of the US-Mexico border depend on the smooth flow of goods. If trade stops, their jobs stop too. This is a domino effect rippling through the entire economy. Of course, a warning this loud from a business leader of Walmart's stature did not go unnoticed in Washington. And, as expected, a political storm quickly followed. The White House, through its spokesperson, immediately fired back. They accused the CEO of using scare tactics and corporate blackmail to protect massive profit margins built on cheap foreign labor. Their narrative is that this short-term pain is necessary to achieve the long-term goal of America first, and any business leader who complains is part of a disloyal globalist elite. On the other side, President Trump's political opponents welcomed the warning as vindication. They praised the CEO for his courage to speak the truth, and used the interview as hard evidence that the reckless and unplanned trade war will ultimately hurt ordinary Americans, not elites in other countries. The warning about empty shelves has become a new weapon in Washington's bitter political battle. But beyond all this political noise, this warning forces us to consider a deeper, more unsettling question. Just how fragile is the system we rely on every day? History has offered us clues. Many still remember the oil crisis of the 1970s, when political decisions in the Middle East led to long lines and gas rationing across America. Or more recently, the chaos at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, when shelves of toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and pantry staples suddenly went empty due to panic and supply chain disruptions. Those events showed us that modern abundance is not guaranteed. It is the product of a delicate global system, and when that system is disrupted, whether by a pandemic or by policy, the effects can hit home fast and hard. Are we heading in that direction again? Will we witness another wave of panic buying? Will this CEO's warning become a self-fulfilling prophecy, where fear of scarcity creates the very scarcity itself? This is uncharted territory in the modern economy. A grand experiment is now unfolding in real time, and we are all part of it. The trade war has evolved. It's no longer some abstract battle taking place at ports or on balance sheets. The fight has now arrived at our doorstep, in the local supermarket aisle, and it may soon be felt at our dinner tables. Ultimately, the Walmart CEO's warning forces us to face an uncomfortable truth. In the effort to make America more self-sufficient, this policy may have just exposed how deeply we rely on the rest of the world for even the most basic of things. This is a pivotal moment. The decisions made in Washington over the next few weeks will determine whether this warning becomes just a historical footnote, or the opening chapter of a consumer crisis unlike anything we've ever seen. What do you think? Is this warning overblown, or is it a realistic picture of what lies ahead? What steps should consumers and governments take next? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching this in-depth analysis. If you found this information important, please help share it by pressing like and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the latest development.